Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing today?
Hi.
Hey, guys. Welcome to Trilogy Training Thursday. I am excited. So, my name is Jessica Aberbach, and I am the Education and Development Manager here with Trilogy. And I am so excited to welcome back Courtney Dahl, back by popular demand. She is our Community Manager at Kenyon Square. And for today, she's going to be going over marketing, Trilogy's marketing plan, and some just best practices and tips. So, like I said, I'm really excited for today. So I'm going to go ahead and make Courtney, you have access as presenter. You guys should be able to see your screen. Before we kick it off, if you haven't yet, down in the chat box, if you could just record who's on today's webinar, and then if you aren't asking a question, mute yourself so we don't get background noise and we can hear Courtney. Great. If you do have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and then ask away. But again, I'm excited. And Courtney, you should be good to go.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, so it's me again to talk about marketing, so thank you. I'm gonna probably try to make it quick because I know a lot of things I've already covered on the social media presentation, but just some quick reminders and tips and tricks that I feel like have helped Kenyon and hopefully others as well. So first things first, of course, a lot of this is digital analytics. So there are, and I'm laughing because I'm trying to practice this earlier, these are some tongue twisters for me. So if I mess up, you can laugh. So first off are SEOs, search engine optimization, SEM, search engine marketing, ORM, online reputation management, SMO, social media optimization, and ILSs, internet listing services. So all of these are very important for marketing, and we'll get into each one as well. So first off, I was going to ask these questions, but conference call, no one really answers, so I won't embarrass myself there either. But I think it's always a great question to ask yourself and your team, how are you generating those leads? Or what you are doing, is it working? Is it not so successful? How can you change that to get people either calling, in the door, emailing? And once again, the topics we'll cover later will really hopefully spark some ideas and get people in the door for you. Okay, so first off, generating and capturing leads. So once again, this is getting people to come to you or grabbing their attention, whether it be with signage, social media, your events, your community outreach. And then of course, a new thing I have kind of tried to press is building your own brand. So really using either, free options or yourself as being the face of either your office or the company in general. So first off, very important, I want to say either bi-weekly or monthly. It's really important to check your internet listings. So like examples here, apartments.com for rent, RentCast, so on. You really want to make sure everything is up to date and accurate. And of course, this is a go-to if you're sitting there and a few days goes by and you're not getting phone calls or emails in from new leads. This is definitely a go-to. Make sure those numbers work, the email works, links, everything like that. So first example, phone numbers. So once again, either bi-weekly, monthly, or if there's an issue, go into all these sites, call the phone number, and then two, even more important, make sure that's linking and you see it in CRM. I also do down at the bottom right here, the message. I test that as well, or our office does, to make sure the email portion is working as well. Of course, amenities, so you want to make sure all these are accurate and up to date. So first thing that kind of came to my mind was Bradford's Dog Park. As soon as that is, I guess, built, good to go, they'll want to let these sites know that they've added that on. So you want to make sure, all those capturing amenities are up to date, or of course the other way around. If you had a dog park and now you don't, you want to make sure that's taken off. And then just general features too. Next would be floor plans. You want to make sure all your floor plans are updated and accurate. I don't really see there being necessarily a change in floor plans, but either way, just making sure everything looks ready and good to go. And property details. So once again, say there was a change that we offered 3 to 15 months and then it changed just to be, 6, 9, 12 months. You want to make sure all that is updated just on the fact of good customer service, and you don't want to be misleading. Another note I had is checking those links. So once again, say you went to push on this site, check availability, and it just went to error or nowhere, or Lord forbid another apartment community. You just want to make sure all that is up to date. And especially office hours as well. I actually just had an experience with this myself where I didn't realize due to COVID, someone's hours had changed. I called before and they must have forgot to mention that. And then I got there and it was closed. And of course I understood, but it just can be frustrating or a waste of someone's time, which you really just want to make sure all communication is smooth. And then of course, ratings and reviews. Not only is it good to make sure, once again, these links work, but it just keeps you updated on, have you gotten good reviews lately? Maybe not so great. And then 2, that can lead to that team problem solving. So if someone had an issue with, let's say, noise, you can really try to make sure you send out those reminders or even reach out to them on that customer service level, make sure they know you saw, if you know who it is, I should say. But just in general, making sure you know what your community concerns are and hopefully trying to work toward the solutions to those problems. And then of course, everyone loves to read the reviews before they move into an apartment, because that's going to be, the real deal information. I always say with this, I know I said it last time, just be prepared for someone to call you out on a negative review, basically. If you aren't prepared, I feel like you might disregard what they're saying or fumble, and it could turn into, maybe loss of a sale. I actually remember this year someone had read a bad review for us about maintenance, and how I turned it around. I was like, oh, really? Well, our Satisfax, they've gotten all 5 stars this month, and overall they've scored a 4.95 out of 5 stars. Just having those stats ready, or once again, kind of anything to reassure them that you're willing to ensure they have a good experience with whatever that issue was. And of course, asking for the review. So I can speak for Kenyon. We email links if someone's had we think a great experience, good interaction. If a guest moved out and we had a great experience with them, we're like, thank you for your stay. Please leave a review if you'd like. And I know on our call with Lisa, she really had, nailed it home with, you want it to be as simple as possible. If you just in passing or even say on a piece of paper, leave us a review, they could toss the paper. They might forget if it's verbal. This is so clear, so simple. All they have to do is click the link. So I found links for us to be the most successful. And then of course we've done some contests here. So if you leave us a review, you could be entered for a chance to win a gift card. Once again, any incentive to get them, to share, hopefully, their good experience. And 2, final, posting links. So even on your Facebook, I know on Instagram you can't post links in the caption yet, but even hopefully that way too. Once again, super easy. They just click and can leave the review. All right, so next leads to social media, which once again, I know I've probably bored you all with my information on that, but once again, it's still just really important. There are so many different avenues, and once again, free avenues that you can take to really boost your office overall look and appearance. All right, so of course, this is, once again, just making sure everything is consistent. Here are some options too. So you want to utilize your cover photo, make it look interesting. As we've said, create that lifestyle. So when people go to your Facebook, they're not, sorry to say, bored, or maybe just like, this just doesn't really look like it has much of a community atmosphere. of course, like it says, do polls, questions, start dialogue, get people interested and involved. You can do contests, post content worth sharing, things to make it exciting. So it doesn't even have to be things your community is doing, but things in the general city, your community, or of course, just relevant, trendy posts. People definitely are on their phones all day long, just something interesting to scroll at. And even further, that's going to get them to follow you and potentially, you know, be more interactive. Content exclusive. So this kind of just reminds me, I know I've said this 10 times as well, but about our Facebook resident forum. We have over 60 residents involved, and they constantly are posting things they see in the community. They hear if they have something for sale, even just anything to get that community discussion going. And two, it's always good to kind of get to know your neighbors, and we can provide that platform for them. Next, of course, Facebook advertising, which of course that can cost money. So there are little, you know, different elements to that, but just in general, the Facebook, Instagram of our general posts, you can do so many free, just, you know, post and creative things. All right, so next, just kind of going over the image you want to create, and every community is different. So you really want to focus on who lives at your community, what they're interested in. A huge one of here is just keeping it light and fun. As we all know, things are so heavy right now, and, you know, guests are so stressed out, and we just want to, of course, we don't want to ignore those issues necessarily, but try to spin it in a way to where there's positivity. Example, this one, avoid rent due. It's just kind of, no one likes paying rent. Or even with COVID, you don't want to scare people about COVID, but, you know, wind it into a way where, hey, this is what we're doing to keep our, you know, residents informed with what we're doing on COVID. I know I brought this up before. I loved Bradford's video where the maintenance supervisor and then leasing professional, they addressed that, yes, this is COVID, we're still here for you. It was a great way to get that information out, looked professional, and just got ahead of the subject. So I thought that was awesome. And of course, you want it to be fun. And like I said, I know it's, you don't want to like stalk people up, but so many of our residents follow our Instagram. So we follow them back. And it's just crazy how many of our residents post photos doing cool things in or near our community. Just DM them, direct message if you don't know that, but DM it. You just message them, hey, like, we love this photo of you by the fire pit. Do you mind if we feature this on our page? I've never been told no by a resident. So quick, so easy, completely free, and it really, once again, it showcases who lives at your community. As I mentioned, for so long, we only had photos we were taking of the residents at resident events. But as you know, not every resident's coming to the events. It was kind of just photos of the same people, even the same kids, the same pets. But this was a way that really just opened those doors for guests looking at your social media to really get an idea or vibe of who lives at your community. And two, honestly, it's a great way for your events. You can see what people like to do. If one of our girls was out rollerblading, it's like, okay, these people like to do things outdoors, have fun, posts of them having wine in their apartment. Just, you kind of get an overall idea of what the guests want to see for your future events or even content. All right, so huge one right now, marketing when you can't leave your office. So I know a lot of us are getting back into being able to leave maybe the office or community, but there's so many things that you can do right from your desk. So of course, once again, setting up that customer service, you really want to answer every phone call you can. Even here, I can say what our office does. If we miss a call, we see the resident's name. Even if they didn't leave a message, it would just technically kind of be a delete out of our queue. We call them back and say, hey, we see we missed your call. I didn't hear a message. What can I help you with? So if you can't get to it, sure, but really try, especially emails as well. And then on the customer service end, just get back to someone, even if they didn't leave you a message. I always remember us speaking about with the email side. If you don't answer within 5 minutes, someone else will. they could set up a tour, you could lose your sale that fast. That's your commission and the company's money out the window just because, you know, you weren't really keeping up on your email. So super important. And then, of course, a large, really important thing as well is calling the past traffic. So this has definitely gotten leases in the past, but just going back and say, hey, we're seeing if you're still interested. I know Bradford for sure has a really great template they use to email residents in the back, just like, hey, seeing you're still interested, really beneficial. Once again, I feel like guests are super honest. If they've already found somewhere else or not interested, they're going to let you know. And then you can put that note right in Yardi as well. And we actually have a spreadsheet here where we reach out to past people, whether they decided to lease or they went somewhere else. We then look back at where are these people going if they're not leasing here, and we have that all in a spreadsheet so we can look back once again for maybe community improvements, marketing improvements, or just seeing what people are looking for in general. Next, e-blasting. So of course, the social media aspect's great, but we always, of course, post to social media and e-blast. Not everyone, unfortunately, does social media or wants to, so this is super important for community updates, events, once again, contests, marketing, anything like that. And yeah, of course, with this one, sorry, one last tip. You always want 2 eyes on it, just for typos, or maybe you want to make sure the way you're trying to come across is coming across intentionally. So it's always great to have someone look at it or kind of, you know, approve it before you send it out. And then, of course, demographics. So who is renting your 1 and 2 bedrooms? You really, if you have, let's see, a younger crowd here who, I'm trying to think of a good example, sorry. Just say you hold a movie night and no one comes, and you're looking at, you know, once again, their age, where they work, things they like to do. It's like, oh, well, no one came to that movie night on Friday night because these people all like to go downtown on the weekend. So you're looking at the age, where they work, maybe even, you know, on a level of their interest, and you're really going to put your money towards that. You're not going to have that movie night on another Friday night, maybe ever again, potentially. A good thing about this also is taking those resident polls, seeing, you know, what events would you like to see? What day works best? Just getting that feedback. Once again, even as an office, you don't want to waste your time and money setting up this great event or this huge marketing event for it not to really apply to the guests you're trying to target to. Of course, preferred employers, always checking your preferred employers, going through the demographic report to match up and seeing how many you have. If you have one person that works at IKEA that lives here and that's a preferred employer, it might be time to reevaluate. I am a paper person, so I like to print it, and then I go through with, say, a pink highlighter. Everyone who's in government, I will highlight those. Okay, that's a good group. Chase Bank, good group. Get those numbers, and or then finally just go through the remaining and see how many that have in common for maybe other businesses we didn't even realize, or companies, and then of course trying to get those added on. So just staying relevant with that information. Of course, the not so fun one in some of our residents' lives, but it's always great to get your information to local attorneys as well. There are so many families, unfortunately, that go through either a home change or family change, divorce, things like that, that are looking for a place to live, and it's a quick, easy contact that you can have that hopefully an attorney could refer the guest over to you. Same with local realtors. So of course, between selling and buying a home, or if they're building a home, they're going to need somewhere to live, probably short term. So it's always great for them to have your contact too. Craigslist, once again, free, easy, same with Facebook Marketplace. And of course, once you do post, especially like Facebook Messenger, just make sure you're checking into the messages so you don't miss anybody. Alrighty, social media page, of course, this has been huge, especially through COVID. Just making sure you're consistent, like this says, you know, don't necessarily post a unit or available vacant, I should say, 3 or 4 times. You want to create that sense of urgency, and it's just like if you were looking for a home. after so many days, you're like, why hasn't this home sold? It kind of just puts that idea into your mind that it's not as desirable. And of course, resident referral outreach. So e-blasting current residents, stickers on packages, even door flyers, bulletin boards, just keeping the guests updated with, hey, you can make more money. And I know our company and offices have been great with this, making it relevant to the time. So, hey, right now, if you were for a resident, you could have $250 for a nice summer getaway or something like that, so you could make it seasonal. Or I know around the holidays, like you need extra Christmas or holiday, spending money, things like that, that will really put it into guests' minds that what they can use the money for. And then, of course, resident events, bring a friend. I know at Central Park we had done, if you bring a friend, you can enter a raffle for however many friends you bring, and then you're eligible to win a prize through this contest. So once again, just enticing people to bring friends to check out our community. And of course, finally, I know we went over reviews, but just asking for reviews, super easy. It's a way, once again, to boost guests who don't live here or know anyone who lives here to come in the door. And I have some examples here, going back to our first photo here with, staying trendy, interesting, fun. I don't know if anyone else here is on TikTok, and I feel like I can't say this phrase without singing it, but there is a song that says, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. So I love this. I thought it was so fun. It's so relevant. And it's true. It's like, even if you're just sitting around, you have nothing to do. You might not even need an apartment right this second, or you're not actively looking. You could still take a tour or pre-recorded video sent to you, and it's going to prepare you for when you are ready. So I thought that one was super fun. The one below that, as we know, Streets has done an amazing job with partnering with the businesses nearby. And as we said, it's so easy. It's not even an awkward phone call. You can literally just direct message these companies and they will write back to you. They're happy to partner. They need this business, especially during this time. Easy flyer. And once again, with partnering, you want to make it as simple as possible for yourselves, because we're getting into a busy season, and them. So this is a simple partnership. We're just swapping information at this point. It's not like they have to remember a special that we're going to offer our residents or anything, which you can do that too, but COVID has been a little more stressful. And even moving forward, this has led us to think like you can direct message businesses. It's not that crazy, where before it might not have seemed as professional perhaps, or maybe they would wonder like, this is not normally how we partner with people, but it definitely has opened, I think, everyone's eyes to partnering through, once again, social media versus going in there necessarily bringing in flyers. The next middle one, what we had done, I saw this girl, she's local to Columbus. She has 13.7 thousand followers. I reached out, asked her if she could make some videos for us to post, paid her $50 for 7 videos. And then it was great content for us. And then she actually, without us asking, once again, posted Kenyon Square to her page. $50 for 13.7, and that's just her followers. That doesn't even mean others don't just pass by her page. So it was an awesome, easy partnership. And once again, moving forward, I think it was eye-opening too. You can reach out to these influencers that have, so many followers for either free or very low-cost partnerships. At the top here, I think food truck will forever be the favorite of communities. And I know Central Park and Bradford, they'll pay for, let's say, the first 15 to 20 guests meal. Here, we actually have never done that. We've always very, very easily found food trucks that will just come and they'll take either, 20 residents, 5 residents. It's always turned out well for us. Of course, the importance of this is you want to pre-market that. So they have, feel like they've made a good decision. If we're not promoting the food trucks coming, no one comes to it, that's probably not going to be a future partnership. So, holding up your end of the deal as well. And two, I know some guests or some employees might say like, okay, well, how do we find a food truck? You literally can Google, for example, food trucks in Columbus, and they have full on sites. You can click 20 food trucks you are interested in. write a quick message. I work in an apartment community. We'd love for you to come by. And then that site sends those companies your message, and they will reach out so fast. You can get them lined up for the rest of the season or summer if you wanted. And once again, that could be at no cost for you. Another thing I've done, I like to call it borrowing. Below that is Condado. So especially during these times, the state of Ohio had changed some laws where Condado could then deliver margaritas, or, you know, they always have super fun posts. I screenshotted, borrowed the photo, and gave them a shout out. So yes, you are borrowing. They don't mind, once again, because this is free promotion for them. You're tagging them, giving that shout out, but you're letting your residents know what's going on locally, or, you know, cool events. It doesn't have to be food, or if, you know, once again, even relating to COVID, like, hey, this place is open now. You can let your residents know, and that's going to give these companies free advertisement. Sorry, that was lengthy. Okay, finally, the marketing schedule. So depending on how long you've worked here, we've always had a marketing calendar that was great for, you know, brainstorming and kind of looking forward in that month. What are we going to do this month? It was in the format of a literal, you know, calendar with the grids and numbers, and we would just put post Facebook this day, or we'll use Condado, call Condado the 15th, and it just felt like for me or our offices that the 17th would come up and it's like, oh, did we post to Facebook? Did you? And we're all like, oh no. And it was kind of just, these tasks were up in the air. So when I was at Bradford, I actually had developed a marketing schedule. So it looks more like this. And we found too, we want everyone to be involved and have tasks, because it's really going to work on not only your social skills, but it keeps people accountable and it keeps you involved in the marketing, which is important for everyone. And of course, with the tasks, we made it flexible. So it's not in PDF, it's in Excel. So if someone gave you a task that maybe you were really not comfortable with, or maybe you think, I just don't really think that's best for our community, it gives you that opportunity to take that out, add something in that you feel like would work. So of course, team members down the side, so it has your name on it, which you would look at weekly, and we like to go over this weekly in our team little huddle, so you remember or know what you have coming up to do this week. That way too, you as the leasing professional or maybe assistant or manager, you can then plan out your week according to this. So you have it in your calendar. I'm going to go out to Condado on Thursday. Then of course, really important is the notes section. I remember Josh Manor and I don't know if you remember this, Josh, we went to Huntington Bank just like ready to promote Bradford, had our flyers, so excited. They did not like us. They didn't really want us there. No one was really friendly. It was super awkward. We came back and put in the notes, like, no Huntington, weren't interested in partnering. Say, 3 months later goes by and you don't have these notes, and someone else goes back to Huntington, they're going to have, maybe not, I should say, but historically speaking, the same experience. You don't want to, time is money too. You don't want to waste your time going to places who aren't interested, at all. So we learned that really quick. And then too, the accountability side. So initial when you're done, or initial and date when you're done. And this is great for everyone, managers or even coworker to coworker. Unfortunately, if someone's not holding up their end of things without any really good explanation, that's just, kind of comes full circle to this is part of the job, and it's not necessarily the best teamwork. And then we always want photos. So as you see here, Central Park does a really great job, and we borrowed their schedule to look at. So they have the posts that they created. They even have added pictures from the event as it unfolded, things like that, just to show, was this successful? And the creativity. I love the yellow basket. It looks really great. So once again, future either employees, hopefully none of them ever leave, or just looking back on past ideas to get re-inspired again is super important for the photos. And then of course, demographics. So you're looking at who moves in that month, or who is moving in the future. Once again, you want to tailor these marketing tasks to hopefully those people or where they work, especially, you know, hugs at work type thing, which hopefully eventually we can get back into soon. Alrighty, finally, BYOB. So you want to build your own brand. I just think, especially in my experience, these have been either learning lessons or very successful. So once again, Thursday, you're going to Condado. You don't want to show up to Condado with, you know, that messy, greasy hair, holes in the jeans, or, you know, you want to look presentable and put together. You are representing not only your apartment community, but Trilogy in general. And two, you're looking for a partnership with someone. So you want to look, you know, we mean business, we are professional, this is a partnership you're not going to regret. So just having, of course, you know, the look doesn't matter type thing, sure, but it really just helps to look professional. Additional, be prepared. Especially, I want to speak kind of forward into as things are opening up. I don't really recommend, you know, showing up to a business. You should probably bring the mask, bring the gloves, bring those, you know, health measures with you. Not everyone is comfortable with opening up just yet. You don't want to start off on that bad impression or make someone uncomfortable. And we said yesterday, Josh and I were talking, actually, like, even in your car, in your wallet, if you can, especially when you're going out marketing, always remember your business cards. There's nothing worse, I have learned. I will say, you're even out to dinner, you get talking, someone's looking for an apartment, or if you're hiring, looking for a job, and you're like, oh, let me write my name, community manager, on this piece of paper. It's just not going to take your reputation to that next level, especially if you're going out marketing. You want to leave that contact information, and of course, always try to grab there. So just being prepared is very important. I'm also huge on Outlook or even phone calendar reminders. So maybe even the night before you're going to go to Condado on that Thursday, make sure there's a reminder the night before and in the morning, just to keep it on your radar and calendar. I know we're all so busy, have so much going on, so much to memorize. It's really good to be prepared that that's where you're going to do that day. And be consistent. I actually wrote down a few examples here of vendors that we work with. One example, Columbus people will know, Dee from HD Supply. She always looks good. She always has such a bubbly, cheery attitude. It's just like a breath of fresh air when she walks into the office. If you have a question and she doesn't know the answer, she's going to look into it for you and follow up. It's just such a great example of a sales employee that is representing her company well, and it's her consistent attitude. She's never come in here, one day is happy, the next is maybe tired. Even if she was tired or had a terrible day or anything, you would never know. And I think that's so important with not only outreach, but with your residents in general, and even with your coworkers. Just, you know, making that environment fun and friendly, I think, is really important for everyone as a whole. And even follow-up. So say you go into a business and you're talking about a partnership, they get busy too. So maybe when you get back, send that follow-up email so they have your information. And then if it chooses to go further, hopefully it does, you've already started that conversation and they have your information, versus, you know, maybe they'll just toss your business card, unfortunately. And then, of course, just being aware. So same thing with the trends. Just try to look forward, like we said, look at other apartment communities, Instagram, Facebook, other businesses in general, seeing what's the latest and new thing. When the Zoom happy hours came out, this was my example, it was so fun. It was new, but I mean, once again, you're talking to your brother, mother, grandparents, co-workers on these Zooms all day long. It looks like, okay, this is great at first, but it's kind of, you know, it can be kind of tiring, honestly, which they're still great, but I think we're kind of moving out of that. People want to get back to their real lives, human interaction, of course, with safety precautions put into place. So I just almost challenge everyone. The virtual is awesome. I think that's a great learning tool that we had with COVID, but planning on getting back into the face-to-face interaction, how you're going to do it safely, make everyone feel comfortable, and make it exciting again, because I think people really truly miss that interaction. Sorry, I've talked your ears off as always, but yeah, that's all I have.
That was awesome. Thank you, Courtney. I personally love this BYOB, build your own brand. I think you're absolutely right. You've got a great point with that. You know, you're representing, right, Trilogy, the brand itself. So carrying those business cards when you go places, great tip. You never know who you're going to run into or who you're going to talk to. But then even you're representing yourself, right? So you always kind of want to have that best foot forward. So but even that personal, you know, the local businesses that you mentioned with, is it Condado? Am I saying that correctly? Condado is it the tacos? Talking about those local.
Yes, ma'am.
What was that?
Oh, sorry, I just said yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Perfect. I want to make sure I was saying it right, but those mentioning those local places, you know, giving those shout outs and helping that advertisement for them, which in turn will even help you. So this was great. If you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute, and now's a great time. And if you're not already, if you're not following Kenyon Square on Instagram or even Facebook, they are one of the great communities to be following for a lot of great ideas in their social marketing. And not just Kenyon Square, you know, a lot of our communities do an awesome job. Shout out to residences at Streets of St. Charles. They're really great on Instagram too, and shouting out those local businesses. So following, you know, just your sister communities and seeing what others are doing, not necessarily even having to reinvent the wheel, right? You can get these ideas from your sister communities. But yeah, if anybody has any questions for Courtney, feel free to unmute. I know I see a few of you using the chat box, giving shout outs to Courtney, so thank you. Courtney, everyone's loving it so far, so great job, Courtney. Any questions? All right. If you guys don't have anything, feel free though to reach out, send Courtney an email, reach out to me if you guys have anything. But again, put your name in that chat box if you haven't yet. But thanks again, Courtney. You did a fantastic job as usual. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. And next webinar, the next Trilogy Train Thursdays is on June 18th. And that will be for preparing for budgets, writing budgets. This is a great webinar for community managers and maintenance supervisors, and just anybody who's interested in learning about budgets and getting ready for it. So, so again, enjoy the rest of your Friday Eve, and we'll see you guys then. Talk to you later.
Thank you.